So, for anyone out there who has a secure job, and not only a secure job, but a job that pays you well, you know just how hard it is to walk away from something that is not only paying you well, but even treating you well. Meaning you are getting back a return for all of the hard work you're putting out. So we all know what it's like to work a minimum wage job. When you're working countless hours, you're busting your butt, and you're barely getting $200 by the end of the week. Like, that's a no-go. But in today's day and age, we are seeing countless people searching for jobs, unemployed, collecting unemployment, which is barely enough to pay the bills. Now, if you have children, that even adds more to your responsibility. And people are struggling out here. Prices are higher than ever before. Ever since COVID, things have not been the same. So you know the uncertainty that comes with making a decision like this. And let me tell you, it was really hard for me to make that decision. So for the first time in my life, I got a job that paid me more than I ever made. And I'm talking about 6 figures. And that is not including my husband's income. So just imagine you combine his income with my income. We were living pretty good. Not saying we weren't living good before, but I didn't have to budget as tight. Now, one thing about me is I am a bomb budgeter. I will have more money in my pocket than somebody making 2 times more than me because I know how to live below my means. And my husband was a financial advisor. And I study these things because I actually enjoy it. I'm the girl that's watching Dave Ramsey over and over and over again. So I know how to stretch a dollar. I cannot relate to people that say, oh, $100 is more like $1 to me. I can't relate to you, sis, because I understand the value of a single dollar, especially when you've been broke in your life before. You know exactly what that dollar feels like. If anything, a dollar can feel like $100 when you have no money. So I can't relate to that. Even when I was making 6 figures by myself, I still can't relate to the people that make those statements because, like I said before, I understand the value of a dollar. And as long as you have bills, as long as you are alive, you are not above money. Okay? And on top of all of those things, we have 5 children. 5 children to take care of. Now, financially, on my husband's income, we were good. We've always been good. There's not a single individual on this planet that can ever say we asked them for anything because we didn't have to. For one, I budget well. 2, I hustle as well. So I've never been just a typical stay-at-home mom. I will be honest. I've always done my own thing on the side, whether it's ghostwriting for people who you've seen on television or seen behind the scenes. I've done a lot of things, wrote articles. I've done so much, okay? I use my talent and the skills that God has given me to make it work. However, there comes a point in your life when you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Is the amount of money I'm making worth it? And we all know what that feels like. Do I walk away from a job that is feeding me financially? So I have goals. Obviously, I want to pay off my student loans. I want to make sure my kids are good when it comes to college funding. I want to make sure when my husband retires in 3 years from the U.S. Navy that he is able to be good, right? That he has enough comfort to be able to go job hunting without moving with a scarcity mindset that will cause him to stumble into a job that may not be fulfilling for him. But because, quite often when we're looking for things, when we're starving, we make poor choices out of desperation. So I don't want any of those things. I want our cars to be paid off. There's things I want to provide me with comfort. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, a car loan is debt. Anything that I have to pay back on is debt, right? So I don't like feeling like a slave to anybody. As long as I owe something, I feel like I'm essentially working for them. I can't even reap the benefits of my hard work because it's going to paying somebody, right? So I was struggling with this decision. Lord, do I walk away? And I made some really poor choices in the process of doing this. I started to seek out opinions from other people. They're not hearing from God like I am. Unless, however, you are speaking to a prophet or someone who is deeply rooted with their relationship with God. I'm not talking about people that go to church on Sundays, that play gospel music because it sounds good, that read their Bible occasionally. I'm talking about people that are rooted. So you know when somebody's rooted, right? And quite often we speak to people and we seek counsel, which is nothing wrong with that. However, you have to be very careful when you speak to people who are not in the know, meaning they don't know the plans and purpose that God has for your life. They're not in the inner circle. Now, do I have spiritual advisors? Absolutely. I have spiritual advisors who are all the way in Africa, who I speak to occasionally. I have spiritual advisors who I've met on social media who would reach out to me. The Lord gave me a word for you. And yes, the accuracy was real because I know how to test the spirits. That's something that comes with wisdom, with as you walk with Christ, you understand, you know the voice of God. As you read the word, you can understand even more the ways, the character, who God is. You just know. So when someone speaks, I know when it's the voice of God speaking. I know when it's a view from the world, and I know when it's a view from God's point of view, right? So you just have to know how to get to that point where you are obedient to what God says he desires for you. Let me jump into how I felt led by God to walk away. So we just moved to Japan. Okay, my husband serves in the U.S. military. So wherever he goes, we go. So moving is hard. Moving in itself is hard, even if you're just moving across the street. It takes work. So just imagine moving across the entire country with an entire family and 5 children. Okay, so it was extremely hard. So we get out here and there's so much you have to do. You have to get established. You have to get your children registered into school. You have to find a home, right? There's so much to do. You have to make your new house a home, which means it takes organizing. It takes putting things away or whatever. I'm playing Tetris. I'm juggling all these things. And on top of that, my kids are getting sick. Their health is declining. The new environment is triggering something in my son that's causing him to struggle with his breathing at night. It's just too much. And my daughter, who is a scholar, okay, and I'm not saying this to brag, but she absolutely is, a straight A student, honor student, extremely intelligent. I mean, all of my children are brilliant. But she's the oldest. So she's the one carrying the torch and leading the way. And she is the one that is struggling the most. And it got to the point where my kids started asking me, begging me, Mommy, can you please leave your job? We need you. Okay. And I was just like, okay, we need to have a sit down because I'm working for them, right? I'm setting them up to have a successful future. And I want them to be financially set. I want our family to be financially set. And quite often that means increased income. 2 incomes are obviously better than 1 in most cases, especially when you have a big family. So I had to sit down with my family and I'm like, okay, what do you guys need from mommy? What does your day-to-day look like? And how does that involve me? And even my husband said, hey, babe, I love that you are thriving in your career. However, I'm tired of seeing you stressed. I see how stressed out you are when you get up to get the kids up for breakfast in the morning, when you have to rush to meet deadlines. I see how stressed you are about the house, about the cleanliness of our home, because you don't have the time to upkeep the house. So now you're stressing, you're yelling at the kids, you're yelling at me, you're trying to figure out how can I get balance in the house, when the reality is you bring us balance, because let's face it, he is in the military. He is going to leave months at a time, weeks at a time. Sometimes he leaves every 3 days, okay? So we need that balance. We need that support. I cannot chase what the world is doing and try to keep up with what everybody else is doing. I have to meet the needs of my family. And what God has taught me is that where I am positioning you, even if it doesn't look like the traditional way of getting money or increasing your income, let me tell you, if you are obedient to me, I will not only increase you, But I will increase the work of your hands as long as you follow the will that I have placed over your life. And I will give you rest. I was working countless hours trying to keep up with assignments. And the money looked great, but I didn't even have time to spend it. I didn't even have time to enjoy it. Occasionally, we would go out. We went to Disneyland in Tokyo, which was absolutely amazing. But there was a damper when I got an email saying, hey, you got 3 more assignments due on this date. So now I'm dreading going back home. I'm dreading the assignments I have to complete. I can't even be in the moment with my family because I'm thinking about all the to-do lists I have to complete. And it was sucking the life out of me. So I made a decision. I said, you know what? If there's any place I can be where we can afford to live on a single income, it is now. We barely have any bills. We're not paying a mortgage. We don't even have to make any car payments while we're out here because we sold our big vehicle. We only have one, which is in storage, right? So like all of these things, if we can afford it, it is certainly now. Not saying that we weren't able to live and thrive off of a single income back in the States. Like I said, I am a great budgeter. I know how to stretch a dollar. I know how to make things work. And yes, me and my family, we vacation every year. We make it happen. And let's not think, oh, military discounts and that's why they can do it. Oh no, military discounts do not apply everywhere. I don't know who be lying to y'all. But military discounts is not what you think it is. We're not getting 50% off. We're lucky to get 5. We're lucky to get 10. Now, there's some places that really hook us up, but that's not most places. Okay. So I'm really good at budgeting. I'm really good at managing money. And I was like, you know what? But I'm not good at juggling a career and my household. That's something I'm not good at. So if something is going to be neglected, it ain't going to be my kids. It ain't going to be my marriage. It's not going to be me. So I had to choose one. And to make that choice, quite often we have to think about our values, right? We have to think about what do we value most? And not saying that valuing money is a bad thing. You need money. We're not above money, right? You need it. And in fact, God wants us to be lenders and not borrowers. This is all biblical. He wants us to be the head and not the tail, right? He doesn't want us to be a slave to banks, to a car note. He doesn't want us to be in debt, right? So he wants us to live in a life in abundance. But how can we do that? How can we do that and still take care of home? Absolutely, we absolutely can. It's actually easy. Obedience is attached to blessings. And this is what I've learned. So yeah, I made the mistake by seeking out opinions from the wrong people. I absolutely did. Oh, Kimberly, you can just do this and do this and do this. And half these people don't have no kids. Half these people only have 1 kid, 2 kids. All of them are school age and in school. I have a toddler at home. I have a child who has health struggles, who needs my attention. Everyone's individual situation is different. So we cannot rely on opinions. We need to rely on what God says. And yes, God can absolutely use people to speak through to you, right? But you got to test the spirit. You got to know, is this God speaking? Is this godly wisdom? Or are they speaking from a place of scarcity? Are they speaking from a place of their own pain? I've even had single mamas tell me, oh, girl, I'm going to push you. You can do this. I'm going to push you. Push me. Do you think that being a stay-at-home mom every single day is a relaxing vacation? You don't think we're pushed every single day? If only people knew the trials that I've faced being a mom of 5 and what I've overcome, what me and my husband together have endured being parents. I'm not even talking about marriage. I'm just talking about being a parent is hard. There are things that I will never share publicly that we've experienced. I am pushed countless times. And then you have to deal with the battle between, do I choose my career? Do I choose my family? Or can I choose both and find a work-life balance? It is quite possible. However, in this stage in my life, it is not. And I've learned that when my children woke up the morning that I said, you know what? I'm stepping away. I went in their room, jumped in their bed like I usually did. And I was happier than I've been in so long. And it was evident. It was so evident because other people noticed it when they saw me walking my kids to school. But I jumped in their bed and I said, guys, I quit. And they shouted and screamed, jumping up and down. Yay, oh my God, Mommy, you quit your job. Oh my God. Gave me the biggest hugs. I was able to sit down and have breakfast with my kids and talk to them. Like, so what are the plans? Hey, MJ, what do you want to do? I know you're into sports. They have a football field right down the street, and you can go 3 times a week. And I signed my son up for football. I'm about to sign my daughter up for private swim lessons. All of these things I'm able to do because I have freed up so much time that I can be present. You know, a mom said under a comment that I read not too long ago, she said, people came up to me and said, oh my God, your children are absolutely amazing. How? Like, how did you do this? And she had a big family. And her exact words were just 3 words. She said 3 words. She said, I was there. I was there. And when I read that, I felt a tug in my spirit, like, you are making the right decision. You know, now people, you know, they tell you, don't rely on a man. Don't listen. The person I was collecting my paycheck from, technically I was relying on them to pay me for my services, to hire me for my services. So no matter what, we are depending on a man, okay? Whether it's your boss, whether it's your husband, whether anybody, you're depending on someone to provide a service to you or to give you a return on something that you are providing. So no matter what, we are all depending on each other. I am not Team Miss Independent because I know you start to age fast, okay? Like we just did 4 years in the White House as the president. You know how the presidents be aging like 10 years in just 4 years? That's how we be looking when we're trying to be Miss Independent. No thanks. Nope, not doing it, okay? So if this is you and you want to take a leap of faith and you want to walk away from your job and you're making good money, but you feel led, right? You feel like God is calling you for greater and bigger things. Be very mindful with who you ask or who you speak to about this, because they may not give you the right wisdom. They may not give you wisdom at all, okay? Make sure you have a spiritual advisor. Someone you can seek counsel from is important, okay? I'm not saying you can't talk to nobody. No, please don't do that. Talk to people, fellowship, but make sure it's with the right people who are rooted, okay? Some people will speak from a place of pain, right? Like, girl, I'm gonna push you. Don't rely on no man. Don't depend on nobody. They depended on somebody, okay? Whether it's through government assistance, okay? If you getting, what do they call it? Food, there's not food stamps no more. Is it still called food stamps? EBT. If you're getting anything, whatever the heck it is, if you're getting anything, any kind of assistance, you're depending on somebody for help, for assistance, okay? So, oh, he might leave you, okay, the job might fire you, okay? They may cut you off from getting Section 8 next week. That has happened. I know a few people who were cut off completely, and they didn't know why, okay? But if you feel called by God to leave, to pivot a bit, trust that you will be taken care of. Okay. And I'm not saying just walk away without a plan. Make sure you have a plan. I looked over my budget prior to making this decision. I said, man, I'm this close to paying off all my student loans. I'm right there. My credit score already skyrocketed. I'm kissing 800, right? Literally, I'm kissing it. If I just stay here a little longer. But I'm like, is it worth it? If I just stay here a little longer, I may meet my financial goals faster, but who's to say I won't meet it? We still can. We still will. It just will take a little longer to get there. Or what God has chose me to do will take off and give me triple what I even asked for and what I was receiving before. So to embark on that journey, meaning to close one chapter to open another, is naturally scary, and it's okay. God gave us feelings. You have the ability to feel. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you not strong. Ignore those people. They're not rooted in God, okay? Even Jesus wept countless times in the Bible. You can see it. So ignore people when they say, oh, I'm strong, I'm tough. Yeah, oh, don't be so sensitive. No, they're the ones who are sensitive. They're running from feelings because it takes courage to feel. So if you feel fear, it's okay. God who came down here on earth felt fear, immense fear. Okay. But in order to embark on this journey, you need the spiritual readiness, right? And you need to change your mindset. Remember, God will renew your mind. Okay. He will transform your mind. He will transform your heart. Only if you let him. Listen to his word, read his word, move by faith, and he will renew your mind. Naturally, you start walking and talking different, and you're like, whoa, who is this girl? This is a renewed child of God. That's who that person is. So I did a lot of praying, and I remember waking up, and a friend of mine, she messaged me, and she said, Kimberly, you are my Nona Jones. And she sent me a video because she was in Florida at one of her conferences. And she said, you are my Nona Jones. And when she sent that to me, I knew it was God pushing me to do this, like a reminder to stop running. I provided you with everything you need. I need you to be obedient. So after weighing out the pros and cons, do I neglect my family for more money? Do I neglect the needs of my children for more money? Do I trust God that he's going to take care of me? Do I move with a fear-based mentality, or do I move with a faith-based mentality despite my fears? That's how you have to live your life. So discern, use discernment, use wisdom, even ask God, Lord, bless me with wisdom. Don't ask him you don't have to, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you don't have to ask God to increase me financially, Lord. Do this. You can simply say, Lord, give me wisdom. Because with the wisdom, all those things will be added onto you. The decisions, the opportunities, all of those things, because wisdom will lead you there. It will direct you. God will direct you. He will order your steps, and you will know. There's this inner knowing where you know. We are so intelligent. We are so spiritually connected. Even those who claim to not believe in God, even they have an inner knowing where they're like, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. And it's all about trusting. And in our case, we trust God. I would love to know in the comment section, has there been a time when you faced a really hard choice, but then you walked away and you felt renewed, rejuvenated, like I know I made the right choice? And if you're in the situation now where you're wondering, do I do this? I want to tell you this right now. Be led by faith, not by sight. Trust that if you're getting this nudge, that on the other side, God is ready for you and he's going to take good care of you. So think about your own career choices. Think about your values. I know the trad wife thing has become a movement, right? Trendy. I know the stay-at-home wife thing has become a trendy topic that everyone's talking about. Career moms versus stay-at-home moms. Listen, we're not in competition with nobody. Okay, we're out of the race. We do what is best for us. And we cannot rely on what research says. We cannot even rely on what statistics say, although it can help. But it is not the end all. The end all begins and ends with God. So please walk with me on this journey as I walk with you on your journey. Like, comment, please hit that like button, because the more you like it, the more it will be shared. And I have this strong feeling there are women out there who need to hear this, who need to know it is okay. It is okay to go against the grain. It is okay to go against the opinions. It's okay to let people gossip about you when you make a decision that doesn't fit what they decide works best for you. You can't live life for them, because even they aren't living life for you. Even they are disappointing some people with their own decisions. We can't win living for people. We have to overcome people, and we have to live for God. So like this video if you liked it, and share this video if you have a friend that you know needs that extra nudge, that extra push of faith, needs this message. It may resonate with her. And subscribe. Join me on my newfound journey. I have so much more I want to talk about. I want to talk about how to develop a stronger relationship with God. Now that I know my purpose, I'm not running from it anymore. I've ran from it countless times, countless years. I feel like I'm Jonah in the whale at this point. I'm being swallowed up, and God's like, listen, I put you here for a purpose, and your job is to fulfill it, and I'm going to make sure you do that. Okay? And maybe that is the nudge that you are getting to fulfill a purpose that is bigger than even you. So like, comment, and share this message. And let's win. Let's win as daughters of God, as sons of God, as children of God, not just servants. Take care. God bless.